I'm Mark Dresner, and this is the Research Insider, a special interview series featuring experts and leaders at the forefront of market research and consumer insights. The Research Insider is brought to you by the Market Research Event, TMRE, the largest and most comprehensive conference in the world dedicated to elevating the business value of insights. Joining us today, we are actually featuring the winner of this year's 2015 Explor Award. We also have one of the organizers of the award. So I will start out here with our friend Mr. Chuck Miller, who is the president of DM2, which is Digital Marketing and Measurement. Chuck also coordinates and leads the judging panel for this award every year. And we also have Mr. Oliver Hayward, and he is representing this year's winner, which is Holland Partners. He is a partner there, and he's responsible for the Hub platform that we're going to hear a little bit more about today. So welcome to you both.
Thank you, Mark.
Hi. Chuck, will you tell us a little bit about the Explor Award for those who aren't familiar with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Explor is a case study competition. It's in its 17th year, which is kind of amazing to think about. But it is intended to highlight really innovative uses of research, uses of research that have had a major impact on an organization, something that's more than just a cool new tool, right? Mm-hmm. So really the criteria that we use in evaluating things are business impact, technical execution, and then creativity and innovation. I think that it's something that has been a good barometer over the years for things that are leading and even coming, in some cases, seeing kind of advanced peaks at new technologies and new applications in advance of commercial use.
Excellent. And with that as a basis or context there,
yeah.
What stood out about the Holland Partners submission of this particular?
Yeah, absolutely. So Ollie and team put together a great submission. I think the things that resonated most in this are really the magnitude and the scope of what they were able to accomplish. He'll tell you a little bit more about the details, but we all hear about data portals and big data and data synthesis and integration to derive insights, but really the magnitude of what they were able to pull together, the number of disparate data sources, the number of users, the context in which they were able to wrap that and deliver it to people goes a little bit beyond the buzzwords that we typically hear. So really great application. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. And with that as a starting point, Oliver, can you expound on this a little bit? Tell us about the project itself.
Yeah, so it was a joint submission by ourselves, Holland Partners, and Direct Line Group, who are the leading UK insurance company. Mm-hmm. And we started working together back in the back end of 2012 was when we first started talking to them. They realized they had a problem of very disaggregated data and sort of siloed insight and data pockets within the organization. In fact, they had over 15 different data sets that they were using regularly, on a daily basis to inform decisions. And those data sets were actually available on 12 different online portals. People couldn't remember the passwords for them, and you had all these different data owners as well. But you didn't really have any way of actually bringing the key metrics or all that different data together for their insights and marketing and effectiveness team to actually be able to make decisions and inform their stakeholders. And so that was the objective was, okay, you've got all these different portals, they're all quite specialized, and you've got these different data owners using each of them, and that's fine, but each of them is only set up to house the data by the person who set them up. So each sort of had one data set in. So the goal was, as I said, to bring all that data together into one place. So they chose our platform, which is the Hub. And since then, the objectives changed a little bit. We've actually now, we've brought together 7 different data sets, including Holland Partners brand tracking, but other data sets such as price and spend, online sales, market share, market switching, acquisition and churn data, all in the same place. And we've actually now rolled out the platform to, I think, 175 different users. Mm-hmm. So rather than it just being for the insights team, now actually it's a publishing tool for access by all these different stakeholders across the business and different departments, including the CFO, CIO, CEO as well, and they're using the platform on their tablets. So it's our most successful engagement of the hub to date with regards to the number of data sets, but also just the actual, the fact, as you said, that it's actually genuinely being used to help people make better decisions across the business.
I think it's a great example of where market research needs to be. Not just playing in our own sandbox with survey data and doing tracking work and delivering insights even through predictive analytics studies and things like that, but it really helping to pull all the data sources together. Research is a part of that, and really being data experts and kind of showing our ability to use data to tell stories and inform organizations.
Right, right. And there's been a lot of talk about curation, right? So I think that's really that's a great point, Chuck. Yeah. What can the hub do? You mentioned aggregating all these sources, obviously.
Yeah.
But what specifically can you do with it if you're sitting down with it?
Well, we have a number of different. We have all the sort of data visualization side of things, of course. So we have a number of different, and the word you use, curated, is a very good one. Very curated, different views for different data sets and different combinations of different data sets, based on what we and our direct clients there, who own the platform on their side, know about the different stakeholders across the business and what they need to make decisions. So we have a number of different data analysis views and dashboards, which are very intuitive, very easy to use. You don't have to have any training, you don't have to have any kind of instruction manual. And we've actually worked with, I think, industry-leading data visualization design and user experience design partners that happen to be based out of the US, and we've used separate partners for that versus a different company who do all the data integration. And actually neither of those companies are from within the research industry. I think that's one of the reasons as well why we've been quite successful, is finding industry-leading people to help with those different aspects of the product.
Right.
But apart from data visualization and exploration, we've also, one of the most interesting things we've done with Direct Line was actually realize that about halfway through our work together, we realized that the platform was really missing a huge piece of the puzzle, which was the narrative, the story. So, the tool would be good to help, was useful to help people find the story, but it didn't help them tell the story in any way. And so we built a sort of stories page where people land when they log into the platform, and the first thing they see is actually the stories, so the distilled narrative around what that means for the business and the key sort of insights and takeouts. And then if they have the time or the inclination to explore from there, they want to dive into the data, they can do, but if they're busy, they can actually just read the stories. And so the insights team at Direct Line, they actually use the storytelling functionality to become almost data journalists, and they put these stories up there on a weekly basis for people to read. And I think that's probably one of our main areas of focus for next year, is to continue building that side of the platform to help people tell engaging, short, distilled, punchy stories that are, I suppose, that are memorable. Because ultimately you have to make insights memorable, otherwise people won't use them. So.
Right, that is a much needed capability, I think, among all researchers. That ability to really tell a narrative based on data. And I think it speaks very highly to the success of the engagement itself and the platform, that you have C-level people, who are fans of it. But I'm just curious if Direct Line has given you any indication of any other metrics, software or otherwise, that they're using to see how well this platform is working for them?
Well, yeah, we give them reports every week on who's logged in. You can see which users have logged in that week and how recently other users have logged in. And we've set up analytics on the platform as well, so we know which pages are being viewed and how many unique views each of them have each day or each week. And so that's pretty key, because it's all very well setting up a nice, very sexy, easy to use platform with data and stories in, but ultimately these people are very, very busy. And I don't think you should ever overestimate the level of interest that people have in what you're doing, or underestimate how busy they are. And they don't have time to sit and say, I'm going to explore this new tool for 2 or 3 hours. I mean, they just don't have that time, however much they're interested in the data. So understanding how well which people are using it and how they're using it is absolutely key, because then you can go back to them and try and work out ways that you can start pulling them into the platform, perhaps by pushing content out to them as well. And I think that's one of the things we're going to be focusing on at the back end of this year and next year, is ways to push content out to people who are so busy that they're never going to log into it all, no matter how well it's designed.
What
They'll
a
never log in.
tremendous opportunity to be able to refine the way that you're engaging with the organization and really have an understanding, which is what we all want, of how they are using this data and if they're not, and who is. What a fantastic...
Well, you can't do that if you send out PowerPoint reports. I mean, you don't have a clue who's opened it or who's looked at anything. But we've got a lot more to do in that space with the platform of building some of the analytics and making it a lot more advanced, so that, you know, if you write a story and it gets pushed out to somebody, it would be good to know whether they've opened it, whether they've read it, have they come into the platform, what have they done, how long did they spend there. That's quite exciting, because technology gives you that in a way that you can't do if you just send a PowerPoint report to an insights manager and let them send it out across the business. You don't have a clue who's read it or who hasn't read it.
Certainly you can start to, as a research function, understand the value that you're bringing to the organization with metrics like that. I look forward to hearing more about it. Thanks so much for joining us today,
pleasure.
and congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you as always for the tremendous service you do by throwing this award together and making it happen every year.
It's fun, and this is a great example of leadership and research, and we need more people doing this. And we'd just like to say before we close, it's never too early to start thinking about next year. So for all the viewers out there, think about what cool, innovative things you're doing. Get in your submissions.
You heard it. Get your submission ready for Explor. 2016 will not be too far off.
We'll do it all again.
And that concludes this episode of the Research Insider. I'm Mark Dresner, and if you'd like to learn more about the Market Research event, visit us online at www.themarketresearchevent.com. Until next time, you've just heard the Insight Scoop.